$349.
I am starving.
Oh, no, never walk into a Sentry when you're hungry.
Unless it's free sample day. Ooh, oh, pizza, yes. I'd love to try that one.
My husband thinks he can make a meal out of grocery store samples.
Need to wash this down. I think I see someone handing out samples in the liquor department.
Geez, can we focus on our list?
What's this?
It says you can win 2 tickets to Green Bay's home game against San Francisco November 24th.
Or autographed footballs, or a 4-pack of Green Bay Hall of Fame tickets.
You have to enter through Sentry's Facebook or Instagram.
I'll be entering this on my phone in the deli next to that cheese sample station.
I'm shopping at Sentry alone next time.
Enter by November 6th.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Comfort Awnings. You've heard me talk about the wonderful new retractable awning the team at Comfort Awnings installed at my home. Now I can have all the cookouts and get-togethers in my backyard with some extra shade and relaxation for my guests. Comfort Awnings is a local family-owned company in Burlington that provides expert installation in southeast Wisconsin and northern Illinois. Now until the end of September, you can receive $250 off any awning or screen. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com to learn more.
Traffic is sponsored by Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialists. Retire well with Kowal.
Our team of fiduciary advisors are here to help you retire well with our streamlined retirement process. Give us a call today at 262-522-4040 or visit us at thekowalway.com.
Traffic and weather. Let's get a look outside with Debbie Loziga. Hey, Deb, how are the roads?
Yeah, well, we still have an accident to deal with right now. This is on eastbound 94 right about at 25th Street. The right lane is closed. And so then we've got backups basically from just before 84th Street all the way to the scene. So give yourself tons of extra time. Westbound's going to be slow from 25th Street out to Mitchell Boulevard as well. Southbound 43 backing up from before Hampton down to Capitol, and then again from Fond du Lac down through the Marquette. And then on southbound 41, also seeing backups from before Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight will be mostly clear, low of 63. Tomorrow, sunny and warm, a high of 81 at the lake, 87 inland. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so nice. Mostly sunny, get to see the sun every day. The average high will be 80 degrees.
Want to bring you the very latest on the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. The Secret Service, FBI, and U.S. Attorney's Office in West Palm Beach, Florida, has just conducted and concluded a press conference there, bringing us up to speed on what we know. We want to bring in Don Mahalik, ABC News law enforcement contributor and a retired senior Secret Service agent. Thank you so much, Don, for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Don, it seems increasingly clear that this was, at least as we sit here today and know it, a lone wolf. How big a threat are these sort of situations and individuals to the safety and security of our leaders?
I think for the last couple of years, the threat from lone wolves has been punctuated by both the FBI, DHS, and the National Director of Intelligence. The problem these days, and the reason we're seeing so much lone wolf activity, is the internet. Online activity, you can get radicalized online in many quarters of the internet. So somebody these days doesn't have to go to a meeting or go to find somebody in order to get radicalized. They can a few clicks, and they can get all the crazy information they need to make themselves even crazier and become a lone wolf attacker. Unfortunately, a lot of this information is being pushed into the U.S. by foreign sources, also well documented. The Iranians, the Chinese, the Russians, all trying to influence our election, all trying to usurp the U.S. election process and all try to influence it. And unfortunately, you have people in this country that go to these corners of the internet and give credence to what they're reading and what they're seeing. It's a tremendous challenge for law enforcement to stay on top of this type of thing and to also be able to identify and track somebody, a lone wolf attacker who leaves very little footprint and really, is very hard to find and track in a nation of over 300 million people.
I wanted you to dive into that a little bit, Don. It seems like if there's 20 people planning an attack, there's 20 people who may talk, who may get loose lips, who may screw up. If there's one person and they're hell-bent on keeping it to themselves, then it's one person. How do you detect that? How do you get inside of that?
So the Secret Service did a couple of studies back in the late 90s about assassins and what assassins do in a profile of assassins. It's called the Exceptional Case Study. When they did this study, they uncovered a couple of things. One, assassins typically have a grievance, a preserved grievance. Number two, they're typically frustrated about something. And number three, they typically have an unusual direction of interest towards somebody. And number four, of course, they tend to have mental health challenges. So in a situation like that, typically somebody somewhere knows what this individual is up to or knows that this individual is having issues. And we'll go back to the Georgia school shooting that just happened, that tragedy. That student and that situation, his family, his friends, they knew that he was doing something or something wasn't right with him, but they wrote it off as that's just him, didn't report, and ignored the signs. This all goes back to people need to pay attention to people showing signs of being in crisis and should be trying to help them or push them towards help so that crisis doesn't become something deadly.
Can you tell us more about how he was trying to recruit Afghan soldiers? What did you glean from that?
So, according to what we're hearing, is he was a tremendous supporter of multiple issues, the latest being the Ukraine. He had traveled to the Ukraine. He had been to the Ukraine. He had protests for the Ukraine, in the Ukraine, and outside of the Ukraine. And allegedly, when he was over there, the Ukrainian International Army, I think it's called, said it wouldn't bring him into their ranks, but said, why don't you go recruit other fighters to join us? And in his mind, I guess the easiest fighters to join would be former Afghan fighters to bring over to the Ukraine because it's a much shorter trip than coming from the U.S. in order to enhance the Ukrainian International Army and resistance. I get that shows you the state of mind that he was in, because according to what we've heard, none of that ever happened, but it was something that he was quote unquote trying to do.
And the reach. I wouldn't even know how to get a hold of an Afghan soldier, John.
Yeah, right. Don Mihalik's with a senior Secret Service agent, retired. I want to ask you about what they found and how far away he was, Don, because we all criticized the role of the Secret Service and local law enforcement after the first assassination attempt on Donald Trump. This guy was 500 yards away, but with a scope and a rifle, and apparently had some sort of line of vision. He could see through the bushes. To me, it's remarkable that the advance team, the first layer, spotted this guy and took care of business. Can you talk about that a little bit?
So when President Trump went to the golf course, it was what's called an off-the-record movement. It was unknown that he was going there. It wasn't on his schedule anywhere. It was basically a wake up in the morning and, hey, I'm going to go golfing today. So it doesn't give the Secret Service time to really build that a security plan, but the Secret Service typically has, in their back pocket, security plans for situations like off-the-record movements, especially at golf courses, because clearly he's golfed there before. When the Secret Service takes a president, in this case, one president, to that golf course, they are doing it with, with the resources they have, and they set up three elements, basically: a forward element, a middle element with the president, and a trailing element. The forward element's job is to go ahead of the former president and basically vet the next holes or the next parts of the golf course and basically look for threats. Most cases, it's more about moving golfers along, but it's also to look for threats. What we saw the other day was the agent that was part of that element actually was, as they were screening those bushes, because clearly they knew that area was a problem, he saw movement in the bushes. He saw a rifle come out, and he drew his sidearm and engaged the threat, and the suspect dropped the rifle and then left the area and then tried to escape. Tremendous observation and surveillance skills on the part of the agent, but that's what they train you to do. And it was a tremendous response by him, and his response keyed the rest of the detail on evacuating and protecting the former president and keeping him safe. And also what we know is where the suspect was, he did not have a line of sight, according to the acting director of former President Trump. Former President Trump was far enough away and on a different hole where the suspect could not see him yet.
Yikes. And the suspect, apparently, reports are saying that he was there for 11 plus hours. What does that tell you?
That tells me that he was committed to trying to do something, that there was an element of planning with this suspect, and he clearly had an unusual direction of interest towards the former president. And look, if you're a lone wolf attacker anywhere in the country these days, especially in cities, it's not hard to camp out in a car, hang out in areas, because I think we've seen that all over the country now with the numbers of homeless people and the number of people living on streets. It's not an unusual thing to see somebody like that who's in an area for a long period of time. I think the key, though, is that if something looks suspicious, that the public and anybody else needs to report it so that law enforcement can actually investigate it and determine who the individual is, what they're doing there, and why they're there.
He's Don Mahalik, ABC News law enforcement contributor and retired senior Secret Service agent. Thank you so much, Don.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
FBI says they continue to interview witnesses and process information. We will stay on top of the story and bring you the very latest as it happens. Our project to honor the legacy of Lance Sidejohn is moving ahead. Coming up during the 4 o'clock hour, why Lance Sidejohn deserves this recognition. Some powerful audio we're going to play for you during the 4 o'clock hour. And our Green and Gold Insiders is Jason Wilde. He'll be with us about 4:15. First, your business headlines.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
A Colombian food concept focused on traditional street food-inspired items plans to join Milwaukee's East Side Crossroads Collective Food Hall on September 30th. Capybara Cafe will occupy a vendor stall that was previously home to Noodle Me at the food hall. Milwaukee County is laying the groundwork for a new subdivision in Oak Creek that would have at least 24 new single-family homes designed to be permanently affordable for buyers. It's seeking $2 million in public support to help fund the project. Construction is underway on 267 apartments in Heartland after the developer closed on financing for the project. It's on a former quarry site at West Capitol Drive and will be completed in phases, with the first units available next summer. I'm Teddy Nykel with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
This report is sponsored by Diamonds Direct. Your love, their passion.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right, enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit DiamondsDirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Elmbrook Family Dental. I'm about to be there in another 2 weeks. During that time, Dr. Brunner tells me, hey, give me a text anytime. He's in charge of the TMJ and sleep therapy wing. You can learn more at elmbrookfamilydental.com. That's ELMBROOK familydental.com. That's what I'm always talking about, their attention to detail, and they care for every patient. It's fantastic if you go there. They have a brand new Wauwatosa office at 800 Mayfair Road. Laser technology to help ease my headaches on my jaw that's causing tension headaches. You can learn more again at elmbrookfamilydental.com. 2 convenient locations in Brookfield, and their beautiful new Wauwatosa location is right in Research Park, accepting new patients. elmbrookfamilydental.com.
No one wanted to hire me. They just saw my disability, but not me. I worked hard to get the education and the skills needed to thrive. I was ready to work. Then someone believed in me and said yes.
And once you say yes, Thinkability Wisconsin will be there, providing transition and workforce support for people with disabilities and their employers to help shape a better future for all. It all starts when you say yes. Join the movement at thinkabilitywi.org.
Hi, this is Julie Coombs and Cindy Storm Fisher with Storm Fisher Investment Group. Are you a retiring professional worried about the direction of our economy, about making your money last? Come see what we can do for you. Let us show you how we take care of you to help you have a great retirement. We are at 262-796-8400 or stormfisher.com. See you soon.
Securities offered through Osaic Wealth, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Arbor Point Advisors, LLC, APA. Osaic Wealth and APA are separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth and APA.
Are you looking to downsize your home? Does the thought of moving out of your lifelong home with cherished memories overwhelm you? Hi, this is Jean Nemelvitz from Bruce's team. As you transition into the next stage of your life, our team is ready to take you from overwhelmed to I can do this. To start the process of downsizing and moving to the lifestyle you deserve, call us at 262-242-6177 or visit brucesteam.com.
Gear up for October baseball. Brewers postseason tickets go on sale on September 20th. Clear your schedule. Claim your spot. and be here for a Brewers postseason run you don't want to miss at Brewers.com.
Protect mom's assets. Protect your assets. Call Kraus Estate Planning, estateplanningpeople.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Hiller Ford, a family-owned dealership on Highway 100 in Franklin.
Looking for a great deal? Get 0.9% financing plus a $2,000 flex buy rebate on 2024 F-150s and Escapes from Hiller Ford.
Time for the crew to give the Phillies a bit of the brotherly glove.
1-1 to Ramos. Ground ball hit towards the middle. Adames ranging. It's Terang who's got it. Throws on the run in time.
Our coverage of the game at American Family Field begins tonight at 6 with Brewers warm-up. We are your home for the Brewers. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 4:01. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, new information on the attempted assassination of Donald Trump.
I'm Julia Fellow. Why 2 schools in Lake Geneva were put on a soft hold.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, and we had an earlier accident on 94 eastbound at 25th Street with the right lane blocked. That's been cleared out of the way, but too late. Damage is done. We got backups pretty solidly going back to 84th Street all the way to 25th. And even back that up, we've got more delays through the construction zone from Highway G to Highway 16. On the westbound side, we got backups from 25th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Westbound 894, slow out of the Mitchell all the way past Loomis. Southbound 41 is pretty backed up, pretty solidly backed up from Good Hope Road all the way down past Capitol Drive, almost to Burleigh. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 62 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 87 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the FBI investigating the incident outside of former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate as an assassination attempt. The suspect, 58-year-old Ryan Wesley Ruth, FBI Special Agent in Charge Jeffrey Veltri, explained their approach to this latest attempt.
The FBI immediately responded to the scene here in West Palm Beach, Florida, and we are investigating this matter as an apparent assassination attempt of former President Trump.
This is the second time recently the former president has been targeted with the attempted assassin getting within range.
ABC's Derek Dennis tells Wisconsin's Midday News authorities are working to identify the suspect that got an unexpected assist from a witness.
A witness who saw the suspect get into his car and then flee up I-95 into another county. That witness was flown by authorities to that scene in the next county over to positively identify the suspect, Ryan Roth.
Former President Donald Trump expected to be at an event, a town hall tomorrow in Flint, Michigan.
2 schools in Lake Geneva are under a soft hold after a threatening voicemail. School officials say Badger High School and Lake Geneva Middle School have been under that soft hold since 9 o'clock. Officers say a potentially threatening voicemail caused the hold, but that students will have normal end-of-day dismissal and after-school activities. There's an increased presence around the school for safety.
8 students recovering after a rollover bus crash this morning near Sheboygan-Ozaukee County line. The bus was carrying 36 students from Random Lake School District at the time. A Jeep collided with the bus at County Highway E and J Road. Random Lake residents tell TMJ4 News the community is still processing this crash.
It's tragic that something like this still has to be happening.
This affected the whole community, and it's a tight community. Everyone cares about everyone.
The driver of the Jeep, 32-year-old Becca Stevenson of West Bend, cited for failure to yield from a stop sign with additional investigation pending. We expect to learn more from police this hour.
A man dies after a crash at the Wisconsin International Speedway. The Outagamie County Sheriff's Office says the crash happened about 3:30 Saturday afternoon. A man driving along the drag strip hit a concrete bridge rail and was ejected from his car into a ditch. The 65-year-old man died from his injuries. His identity has not been released.
The Milwaukee Bucks gets a new owner. Milwaukee Business Journal's Rich Kirchen tells WTMJ about a big investment from Junior Bridgman.
He had talked some years back with the Bucks. I think it was when Herb Cole was the owner, about taking an ownership stake. Nothing ever happened, but now the word is that he is going to invest in the Bucks, get about a 10% share in the team.
Bridgman played 10 seasons with the Bucks across the 1970s and 80s, had his number retired. After his NBA career, he began investing in restaurant chains and became a bottler for Coca-Cola.
Coming up, a first for the NFL.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 4:05.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here to tell you about Built Right's Labor Day mattress sale, extended through Saturday. The one location saves you time and money, and Built Right makes it easy to shop, easy to buy. They'll beat any big box, national or local chain store, department store, employee-free store, online retailer, or warehouse club because they have the guaranteed lowest and most competitive prices, value, selection, service, and experience in Wisconsin. Over 60 models and 500 mattresses in stock. Choose from the best brands made in the USA: Heirloom, Gold Bond, Therapeutic, Restonic, and Schiffman. Built Right specializes in hard-to-find, flippable, two-sided, and heavy-duty mattresses. They can hold up to 600 pounds. Plus, Built Right offers free delivery and removal on mattress-only purchases of $7.99 or more. Built Right always saves you money. Shop Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, they're closed to be with family. Tell them Vinny sent you to Built Right at 54th and Layton Avenue in Greenfield.
I'm Kamala Harris. Here's a few things I believe. Middle-class families, like the one I grew up in, they want common sense solutions. You want lower prices and lower taxes. I believe you want to just not get by, but you want to get ahead. We must create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to get a car loan, buy a home, start a business. And I believe we can make that happen.
Kamala Harris's plan? Bring down costs by cracking down on corporate price gougers. Make homeownership more affordable for families. A middle-class tax cut for 100 million Americans. And make sure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share so you can keep more of the money you've earned.
Instead of being focused on the politics of the past, we need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time 407.
There was a unique first in an NFL game yesterday.
It was a back-and-forth battle between the New York Giants and Washington Commanders, tied at 18 with seconds left. Washington won it on a 30-yard field goal on Fox.
Boston Seibert. And it's over.
The Giants became the first team in NFL history to score 3 or more touchdowns in a game and lose in regulation time to a team that scored no TDs. The Commanders kicked 7 field goals. The Giants failed on all 3 conversion attempts after their touchdowns. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Packers win yesterday over the Colts. And Malik Willis, his first career win as a starting quarterback, impressing head coach Matt LaFleur.
I mean, this guy got here 3 weeks ago. And for him to be able to go out there and command our offense, I think that speaks volumes of who he is as a person and the work that he's put in.
And the Brewers begin a 7-game homestand tonight against the NL East leading Phillies. Coverage begins following the 6 o'clock news on WTMJ.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time 408.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik here for Flanner's Home Entertainment. Does the audio and video system in your home need an upgrade? Well, Flanner's has all the solutions and the installation experts to simplify and upgrade your home entertainment experience. Forget about the impersonable big box stores and risky online purchases. You go with locally owned Flanner's, where quality service, the best brands, and guaranteed best price remain top priorities. Stop by Flanner's in West Dallas, Grafton, or at Flanners.com. Sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
Hope you're having a great Monday. Hope your weekend was good. A local hero and his legacy here in Milwaukee need our help. Bayview's Lance Sidejohn was a young fighter pilot in Vietnam when his plane was brought down in dense jungle. He ejected, was critically injured, and survived in that jungle for 6 weeks before being captured. As a prisoner of war, he was tortured to death because he refused to give his communist captors information. He was given the nation's highest award for bravery, the Medal of Honor. Despite constant torture, Lance Saijan refused to give the Viet Cong the information they wanted on U.S. troops and strategy. Guy Gruters knows what Lance did. He was a prisoner of war with Lance.
I think the guy is a hero for all ages. I mean, for the whole country, not just Milwaukee or Wisconsin. He's one of the very finest of all time. I really do. This guy is doing this in absolutely hopeless conditions without any hope of, getting out or anything like that, just to do the right thing. Name, rank, service number, date of birth, giving him nothing. He's unbelievable. I don't think there's any man better.
For his valor and bravery, Saijan's parents were presented his Medal of Honor. Charlie Larson was best friends with Lance since kindergarten.
It is a very solemn award. Many of the people, like Lance, did not survive to receive the medal personally. On one level, it makes me very proud. On another level, I'm not very surprised because of how he grew up and what he became.
Captain Dan Buttry runs the War Memorial Center in Milwaukee. He's studied Saijan's story.
How tough he was and the inspiration that he gave to all the other prisoners of war for 5+ years. They leaned on him and what he did to gain their strength. And so that's another key takeaway, is not only what did he do while he was alive, but who did he inspire and how did he inspire his fellow prisoners because of what he did.
Chris Cassidy is in charge of the soon-to-open National Medal of Honor Museum. He says Saijan's Medal of Honor story is inspiring.
You think about 45 days in the jungle, period. Even if you're totally healthy and you have a knife and you have matches and you have a rain parka and a tent, it's still crazy to think about 45 days in the jungle. And there he is with all those injuries, compound fracture in his leg. It just blows me away.
Lance's little sister Janine tells me her brother's story still influences and encourages her 55 years after his death.
Our heritage teaches us who we are. That's our heritage. This is a national treasure. Lance Saijan is a national treasure.
He is a national treasure, and part of Lance Saijan's legacy is that F-4 fighter jet at our airport. It needs to be painted and repaired. That will cost a lot of money. You were just by there. You went by there on Friday.
I did. It's beautiful.
It's a cool
love how
thing,
the
isn't it?
concrete on the bottom below the beautiful fighter jet, the F-4C Phantom fighter jet.
Mhm.
It's a star, and it has the blue around it.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Yes.
But the plane needs to be fixed.
Mhm.
It needs to be restored. If you'd like to contribute to help restore our hero's plane and legacy, text the word Lance to 855-616-1620. You'll get sent an article, some very cool pictures of Lance Saijan, and an easy button to donate. $10, $20, $100, whatever you can do makes a big difference. Text the word Lance to 855-616-1620 to get all that information. We'll shoot it to you right now. You text the word Lance to 855-616-1620.
I'm so glad you're doing this effort. So, a man I admire, and I'm glad that I know more.
Yeah, me too. It's been fun to learn about him. He is an inspiration. If you'd like more information about our hero and how you can help his legacy, text the word Lance to 855-616-1620.
Fall is on its way, which means you need to make sure your house is up to snuff before the cold hits. WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga here for the WTMJ Home Improvement Showcase. Join us every week as we highlight services provided by our great partners, including Comfort Awnings and Bruce's team with Realty Executives Integrity. And they'll get you and your home ready for whatever season Wisconsin holds. It's the WTMJ Fall Home Improvement Showcase. Find out more at WTMJ.com.
There are some things that you cannot not know. Do you know God's heart? In creation, you can hear his echo. In your conscience, you can feel his disappointment. But in Jesus, you can hear what he has to say. You can know his promise, his intentions, his heart.
Dr. Michael Ziegler this week on The Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
John Mercure here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Check this deal out. I'm going to get to it right away because this is really incredible. They've got the best product and they've got the best deal. Right now, you pay only $18 a month for a window, $81 a month for a patio door. Here's why this is incredible. $18 per month per window, $81 per patio door. Because they've got the best product. Everything is custom. They've got the absolute best product. They can provide any material, wood, laminate, fiberglass, other really cool stuff. It's all custom made. A window for every home and budget, and as low as $18 per window, $81 per patio door per month. That's the deal at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Hurry up. Do it now. The deal lasts only a couple of more weeks. So visit PellaWI.com today. PellaWI.com. The glass is made in Wisconsin. The product is made in Wisconsin. The Experience Center is in Wisconsin in Brookfield. You got to check that out. It's absolutely gorgeous. They're going to take great care of you. Gina Della and her team, they're the real deal. So is this deal. $18 per window per month. Are you serious right now? Check out PellaWI.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialists. Retire well with Kowal.
A strong retirement plan should go beyond investment management. At Kowal Investment Group, our fiduciary advisors can help you reach your retirement goals. Call us today or visit us online at thekowalway.com.
Traffic and weather. Debbie Lazaga, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John. We do have some delays. Eastbound 94 slowing down through the construction zone from Highway G all the way to Highway 16. You're back on the brakes from about 84th Street to about 68th. We got some backups on the westbound side, too, basically from 25th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. There is an accident on the ramp from Highway 100 to westbound 94. So just something to keep in mind. It is off on the right side, but it's kind of close to the travel lane. Just be extra careful. Southbound on 41, got some backups from Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive, almost to Burleigh. And then southbound 43 backing up from Hampton down to about Capitol Drive. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, clear skies, a low of 63, a little bit cooler. Tomorrow, sunny and warm, a high of 87. Wednesday, mostly sunny, 79. Thursday, sunny, 80. On Friday, sunny, 81. What great temperatures for the middle of September. Right now, it's sunny and 78 degrees.
From sidelines to the locker room.
The message that I articulated to our team is every game, it's a one-game season from here on out.
And everything in between.
But I also know Dr. Patrick McKenzie, and he is my kind of guy. He is conservative. Pat is not going to let somebody go out there that should not go out.
No one covers the team like Jason Wilde.
Well, that's very kind of you to say, but I don't do enough politicking.
It's time to get caught up on the green and gold.
What the hell's going
on? With today's Insider. ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde.
Wilde nailed it. Wilde said that there's no way that Jordan Love's playing. Jordan Love did not play. Jason Wilde, thank you so much for being with us on this Monday.
I'm still going to have to get used to that walk-up montage. It makes me sound so cool, and I'm just not.
Do you like it? You like it?
I love it, yeah. And I was saying to John on Friday, you know, I just appreciate you guys having me on because he obviously has got his master's and he's this brilliant.
I heard it. I heard it. You said Masters of DePaul University. I was listening.
I did. I dropped that in for you, and you weren't even there.
Yes.
So
yes.
I got it. Right. I got it.
Yes. Hey, Jason. Speaking of genius, what a great game plan! What a great victory! We knew this was going to be tough, and they completely altered the game plan. I mean, they rushed the ball 50 times for the first time in like 50 years or something like that. Talk about the game plan.
Yeah, genius is a great word for it, John. I mean, it really was brilliant. And we talked to Adam Stenovich, the offensive coordinator, on Thursday. And I asked him, how are you going to run the ball effectively when everyone in the stadium, the 77,000 people there, you guys on your sideline, and certainly the Colts on their sideline, know you're going to want to run the football? And he claimed that, hey, if they stack the front five or front seven or front eight or whatever they went with, and we're going to deny us from running, we're going to have to throw the football. Turned out they didn't have to throw the football at all because of how well they not only executed it, but the design of all these different motions and fakes to the wide receivers running around the end. And it just really baffled the Colts. And remember, the Colts came in as the worst run defense in the league. They had given up 213 yards the week before in a full game to the Houston Texans. Yesterday, they gave up 164 yards in the first quarter and 237 yards in the first half.
Whoa.
That's really That's really, really remarkable. Okay, so I guess the follow-up is, you're right, the Colts knew we were going to run it. If Jordan Love doesn't go this next week, would the same game plan work again? I mean, these teams all scout each other. They all prepare. Now they've seen Willis for a whole game. Would there need to be an adjustment?
I'm sorry. I thought you were doing the show. Were you in the press conference when I was asking my questions?
No. Oh, my God. I feel so flattered. Are we on the same page?
Oh, stop. So that was exactly my question to Matt, was basically, look, it's great. And they have the 24-hour rule. You get to celebrate a win for 24 hours, then it's on to the next game. And Matt started talking at 3 o'clock. So the 24-hour rule had passed. And so I said, hey, the 24 hours are over. Great game plan. Way to go. You're brilliant. Now what? Because Tennessee saw everything that you did, and there's no way in God's green earth they're going to allow you to do that to them. And he talked about how we'll have a game plan that, will work against them, but he had to acknowledge that this is a better defense they're facing. They got a lot of veteran players. I think it's going to be harder, and whether it's Jordan Love or it's Malik Willis, who is a former Tennessee Titan, remember, the challenge, I think, will be a little bit greater on the road against a good defensive team.
I want to ask you about the defense, about the Packers' defense. Jason, they also seem selfless. Guys are not just pinning back their ears and getting upfield as fast as they could. Against a mobile quarterback, they held their lanes, they held their edge. Can you talk about the job the defense did?
Yeah, they're doing a great job of that, and I think there's a little bit of frustration among those guys because they want to get after the quarterback, right? But the last 2 weeks, both of the quarterbacks they faced, first Jalen Hurts of the Eagles down in Brazil, and then yesterday with Anthony Richardson. Those guys are athletic, mobile quarterbacks. Now, they're not just running quarterbacks. They're not like Tim Tebow back there, but you have to be able to defend the pass, but also try and find a way to create some measure of pressure without creating big holes for them to take off and run through. And they did a pretty good job of that against Hurts the first week. They did a good job of it until the very end against Richardson yesterday. But again, most quarterbacks now, you watched last night a little bit. I know he's struggling. He got beat up pretty bad, but Caleb Williams doesn't run to run. He runs to extend the play and then make a throw, and that's what Rodgers used to do around here. So I think they still have to find a way to generate more pressure on the quarterbacks, but they're doing a great job of taking the ball away. They have, through 2 games, they have 6 takeaways, 5 interceptions. Last year, 17 games, they only had 7 interceptions. So they should be topping last year's total about midway through the third quarter in Tennessee.
Isn't it good to see the Bears lose?
So I have
badly.
taken,
that was horrible.
I have taken a little guff for this because, remember, I'm not a fan. I'm a reporter. Yep. And my mentality is, and I'm not rooting for the Bears by any means either. That's not my job. But I want Caleb Williams to be good because I want Packers-Bears to be one of those rivalries where both teams are good at the same time and they're fighting for playoff positioning and division titles. And for my time covering this team, this is season 29 between Favre and Rodgers and then Love going 2-0 against them last year. This isn't a rivalry. Matt LaFleur still hasn't lost to the Bears. So for me as a storyteller, it would be more compelling if Caleb Williams is good and these teams go back and forth. But Packers fans listening right now that are driving in their cars, they're honking their horns. They're telling, get Wildy off this show.
And your prediction on when Love will be back?
I think there's a chance for Sunday. LaFleur, this is great. LaFleur told us that he didn't talk to the medical staff on purpose, so he didn't have to say anything to us and didn't have to lie to us.
Smart.
Which I feel like a little bit is malpractice and maybe a little dishonesty, but if not, I think the target all along had been either Minnesota on the 29th or at the Los Angeles Rams on the 6th. If he's somehow able to go with a brace on Sunday, that would obviously be a bonus for them. But I would say most likely Minnesota at the earliest in about 13 days.
But if they had lost, there would be a different kind of pressure inside that building, wouldn't there?
I think that, I think Jordan feels that pressure regardless, right? And frankly, he's at a different point in his career than, say, Aaron was. I mean, Aaron had the pelts on the wall, as Mike McCarthy used to say, to be able to say to Doc McKenzie, look, I have to play through this. And he couldn't do it with his broken collarbones. in 13 and 17. But, he broke a bone in his knee in 18. He didn't miss a game. He broke his thumb in 2022. He didn't miss a game. He tore his calf at the end of 14. He still played, even though he was a statue for a couple of games. So I don't think Jordan's at that point in his career yet, but I would think that had they lost and fallen to 0-2, he would have the internal pressure of really wanting to be out there for his team.
He's a Wisconsin Afternoon News Hall of Famer. He is Jason Wilde. Jason, thank you.
I can't wait for that to be in the open when I come on Friday. All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
It is 4:25 at WTMJ. Let's check out those markets. A mixed day on the markets today. The Dow was up 228 points. The NASDAQ was off 91. The S&P was also up. It was up 7 points on the day. Annex Wealth Management, financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Since 1899, Port Washington State Bank has been dedicated to helping small businesses. I'm James Showalter, president of PWSB and a proud resident of Ozaukee County. For over 5 generations, we've been helping businesses in southeastern Wisconsin do more. Our commercial lending team takes the time to listen and provide the care you deserve. We're proud to serve this community, and we'd be proud to serve your business. Stop into Port Washington State Bank today.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning, quality products and services at a fair price. It's what sets them apart. Their level of service before, during, and after the transaction. Water softeners, RO systems. I've got both of those. My water in my shower is perfect thanks to the softener. The RO system means that the water that we're drinking, cooking with, is crisp, clean, and clear. Better water makes a big difference. Guthrie and Fry. Guthrie and Fry, Southeast Wisconsin's #1 choice. They're in my house. Check them out. GuthrieFryWater.com.
Wisconsin, it's game time. Heiser's touchdown savings are here, and these deals are a total crowd pleaser. Score big with Heiser's 5-star lineup. We have Ford, Chevy, Toyota, Cadillac, and Lincoln. Plus, our service centers and body shops are ready to keep your ride playing at MVP level. With our exclusive Safe and Sound program, you'll hit the road with peace of mind, prepped for all of your fall adventures. So don't drop the ball on these deals. Visit Heiser.com today. At Heiser, today's your day.
See dealer for complete details.
There you are again, hesitating to make your first move to get out of bed because you know that's when the pain you feel will get worse. You don't have to keep living this way. We've developed proprietary and powerful pain treatment plans that can help alleviate your pain so you can start getting back to the more active life you used to have. This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Pain Clinics. Our FDA-approved pain treatments work to aid inflammation and lubricate your joints. They're precisely administered to where your pain lives, and at $65 per injection per joint, they're far more affordable than experimental bioregenerative options. And because, in almost all cases, insurance covers our treatments, it makes it easier to just give it a try to see if you, like thousands of others, can move towards a pain-free life. At Rejuvenex, we can alleviate your pain, and that'll rejuvenate your life.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Since 1955, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Hey, don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geis today. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget. They'll even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to GeisDoors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Another MVP has joined the roster at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, Dr. Michael Nolte. Expertscape recently named him part of the top 1% of spine expertise in the world. Dr. Nolte has published over 50 peer-reviewed articles in leading scientific journals and authored more than 100 national presentations. They added this MVP specialist for orthopedic, neurosurgical, and spine care because at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference.
We've found that the high road is worth the climb, and it's less crowded. At Semperfi, everything we do is done to the best of our ability. There are no shortcuts. It's pretty simple. We do what we say we're going to do because we fully understand that a reputation is never given. It's always earned. It is in our nature to keep our values intact so that when we leave your job, you'll be right there to shake our hand with satisfaction. We've installed massive flat roofs and shingled huge churches, schools, and all kinds of homes from modest to extravagant, all with integrity and pride in our work. And we're going to keep doing it for generations to come. That's what Always Faithful means to us. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Are you looking to downsize your home? Does the thought of moving out of your lifelong home with cherished memories overwhelm you? Hi, this is Jean Nemovitz from Bruce's team. As you transition into the next stage of your life, our team is ready to take you from overwhelmed to I can do this. To start the process of downsizing and moving to the lifestyle you deserve, call us at 262-242-6177 or visit brucesteam.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield. Visit holtebeck.com.
Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield is excited to welcome Dr. Nausheen Abbas to their team. Dr. Abbas is an ophthalmologist and cornea specialist. Learn more at holtebeck.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:31. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, the Secret Service insisting success is the only option.
I'm Julia Fellow. 2 more campaign stops in the Badger State this week.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, still dealing with a crash on the ramp from Highway 100 to 94 westbound. It is out of traffic, but kind of close to the travel lane, so you just want to keep an eye out for that if you're driving through there. Also, an accident on 94 northbound, just about at the Mitchell interchange. It's off on the left shoulder, so just be extra careful if you're heading through there. Westbound 94, slow out of the Marquette all the way to Mitchell Boulevard, and then on southbound 43, slowing from before Hampton to Capitol, and then Fond du Lac down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
2 nights. There's going to be some patchy fog, really cloudy, a low of 62. Tomorrow, mostly sunny. You get to see the sun. The high will be 80 degrees.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the Secret Service is under fire once again for letting an attempted assassin get close to former President Donald Trump. Acting Director Ronald Rose says plans in place to protect Trump are working, but the Secret Service needs more to protect candidates.
Success, we have to have it every day. We cannot have failures. And in order to do that, we're going to have some hard conversations with Congress, and we're going to achieve that.
This is the second time in a matter of weeks the former president has been targeted with the attempted assassin evading security and getting within range.
ABC's Josh Margolin tells Wisconsin's Morning News the Secret Service is still analyzing whether or not their response yesterday was a success or failure.
We know that it was a failure in Butler, Pennsylvania on July 13th, but yesterday there's some view that this was a success. That's why there are redundancies. Obviously, the Secret Service would prefer somebody to never leave a security bubble, but that's not possible, especially for a candidate, especially 50 days out from an election.
Former President Donald Trump's next event is a town hall scheduled tomorrow in Flint, Michigan.
Decision Wisconsin, 2 campaign stops in the Badger State this week. Republican vice presidential nominee Senator J.D. Vance will be at Eau Claire at the event center there tomorrow afternoon with a focus on securing the border. This marks Vance's second trip to Eau Claire and 5th to Wisconsin. Vice President Kamala Harris will head to Madison on Friday. While there are no details yet on her rally, this will be her 4th visit to the state and her first visit to Madison.
8 students recovering from injuries after a rollover crash southwest of Random Lake near the Sheboygan-Ozaukee County line.
The bus had been carrying 36 students in total when it was struck by a Jeep Grand Cherokee around 7:20 this morning near County Highway E and J Road in Ozaukee County. The students' injuries range from minor to serious, though all are expected to survive. The driver of the Jeep, 32-year-old Becca Stevenson of West Bend, was issued a citation for failure to yield. An additional investigation into the crash is pending. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
A news conference in the past hour says there was no sign of distracted driving, but Stevenson says the sun caused a glare on her windshield, and officials plan to visit the school tomorrow to talk to students about the safety measures in place to keep them safe while riding in the bus.
One person's dead after a motorcycle crash in Milwaukee near Miller Parkway and National Avenue. The crash closed down all traffic in both directions on Miller Parkway today. It's unclear if any arrests have been made in connection to the crash.
Getting a rebate while supporting conservation.
The Wisconsin DNR is offering a $25 rebate for new purchases of its Endangered Resources license plate through the end of the year. The funds will be used to support conservation efforts for wildfire and plant species as part of the plate's 30th anniversary celebration. If you've already renewed your license plate for the year, you can still switch to the Endangered Resources plate for just $15. Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The Packers improved to 1-1 following yesterday's 16-10 win over the Colts. First career win for Malik Willis as a starting quarterback, impressing head coach Matt LaFleur.
I mean, this guy got here 3 weeks ago. And for him to be able to go out there and command our offense, I think that speaks volumes of who he is as a person and the work that he's put in.
The Packers travel to Nashville this weekend to face a Titans team that traded Willis to the Packers in late August.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 4:35.
Sponsored by Grandview Homes, the name you know, the name you trust. GrandviewHomes.com.
When you need to sell quickly, choose Grandview to buy your home, even if it's less than perfect. Don't waste time and money on finding a real estate agent and dealing with showings. We'll buy your home completely as is. No repairs, not even a clean out. Grandview Homes gives you an offer in hours, and we close on the day you choose in as little as 10 days with no closing costs. Visit GrandviewHomes.com for your fair cash offer today. Grandview Homes, the fastest and easiest way to sell your home.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouth-watering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ. Now batting for the Brewers Radio Network, play-by-play announcer Lane Grindle.
First pitch to Ortiz is hammered out to left center field. High and deep and way gone for Joey Ortiz.
On Wisconsin's afternoon news.
Brewers' magic number to clinch the division down to 3 following a 4-2 road trip. 7-game homestand begins tonight against the Phillies. Lane Grindle will be at the ballpark on the call. Lane, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good to be with you today.
How nice is it to be home for 7 days? I bet your wife likes that.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, she's a teacher, so we don't really see each other during homestands once school's back in session. But it's an extra, it's an extra car that can drive kids to appointments and things of that nature. We just kind of tag you're it as I leave for work and she's coming home from work.
So what happened with the last inning?
Yeah,
Was it
Devin
the 10th
Williams.
inning?
Let's talk about Devin Williams.
Yeah, so, I mean, look, over the course of a 13-game stretch without any off days, which is what the Brewers have, there are going to be tough decisions on how you manage the bullpen. And so if Devin would have pitched yesterday, it would have been 4 out of 6. The Brewers were comfortable with using him in a very specific situation. If it was for 1 or 2 outs, maybe, but they didn't want to get him into the game and have the inning pile up on him because then he would have been lost for probably this entire series, or at least for the first couple of days of this series with the Phillies. So it's always a gamble. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Jared Koenig had retired the 3 guys that he faced in the 9th. His stuff looked good, and so I think the Brewers felt like we can put him back out there and try to get through this 10th inning with a 2-run lead. I wonder if the calculus would have changed if it was a 1-run lead at that point, but thinking maybe with a 2-run lead that was enough to go back out there with Koenig and try to stay away from Devin Williams yesterday. It didn't work for the Brewers, but most things are working this year, so sometimes you're going to have a game like that over the course of 162.
Yeah, you're true. You're right. And I think everybody likes Murph, and everybody agrees that he's done a really good job. What I said at the beginning, the magic number to clinch the division is down to 3. Boy, I don't think many people would have thought that literally halfway through September, the number to clinch the division, not just make the playoffs, is down to 3. That's pretty impressive what this team's done during the course of the season. What's been the key so far?
Well, I think the key has just been continuing to show up day in and day out and compete through all 9 innings. It sounds so simple, but yet I think that's harder to do over the course of a long, grueling schedule than we realize when we're just watching it or or consuming it via the radio or coming to the game and eating popcorn and watching the game. That's a tough thing for a guy to do, to come in and compete like this team's been able to do consistently all year long. And I think that's been a big part of the identity of this team. It's worked out really well for the Brewers, and it's been one of the main reasons why they're at where they're at. Now, the other thing is the Brewers are elite defensively, and that gets overlooked a lot. That doesn't grab a ton of headlines, but that's something that really factors into winning games, and it makes your pitching staff better. And the Brewers have a very good pitching machine, if you will, in terms of the staff that they have and their ability to take guys and elevate them and help them sequence the right way and pitch usage and all those things. The Brewers are one of the better organizations in baseball in terms of lifting guys up and getting the best out of them. And they've done that again with a bunch of guys on this roster. Brian Hudson, Jared Koenig, who we were just talking about. Trevor McGill last year was a great example of that. Aaron Savali was having a tough year with Tampa Bay. The Brewers acquire him, and now he's pitching like he was when he was a Cleveland Guardian again. So I think all those things have a lot to do with why the Brewers have had the season they've had. But it's also they have some depth in this lineup. They lost Christian Yelich. That hurts. But right about the time that Christian Yelich goes down, Jackson Chourio turns into a superstar. So this is a very talented team, more talented than it gets credit for, I think. But they also play the game in every aspect at a very high level.
Well, we hope that Bernie goes down the slide today.
Yes.
For sure. And guess who's going down the slide lane?
Who?
All of the GKB crew.
A lot of us.
I love it. Be
Have you
careful.
gone down it?
Oh yeah, many times. I hate heights, so I'm retired from going down the slide. But I did do it when my kids were younger, and I'm good. You guys have fun with that.
We have to sign our life away. But do you
Yes.
go? Do you go?
5-page waiver, I think. Yeah.
It goes fast.
It still goes.
It's pretty quick.
Okay. All right.
I'm with you, Lane. I'm not a heights guy, so I'll watch everybody else do it. But let's hope that the guy with the mascot costume on gets to do it coming up
Because
here.
Bernie gets some air
once you're
before
at the
he
top-
lands on the slide.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, once you're at the top and you go down, that part's fun. It's climbing up for me that, no thank you.
Yeah. You can check out Lane. You can hear him this series. It's a big series against the Phillies, who the Brewers are in a battle with, along with the Dodgers, to see who gets a first-round bye in the playoffs. Lane, have a great call of the game. We'll be listening.
Will do. Sounds good. Thank you.
It is 4:42 at WTMJ. That is a really big series, by the way. As you look at the standings, I just pulled them up here. The three division winners, one of them has to play in the wild card round of the playoffs. And right now, the Phillies have the best record of the division leaders. The Dodgers are second, but the Brewers are, it looks like, 2 games behind the Dodgers, so they could make some headway there. That's why I don't like the Devin Williams call, because every win matters now if you want that bye in the first round of the playoffs. 4:43, up next, we're going to get you caught up on the latest regarding the Donald Trump assassination attempt. Brad Garrett, ABC News, is a former FBI agent. They're one of the lead agencies into the investigation on the East Coast. Brad is with us straight ahead on WTMJ.
An election year brings a lot of different stressors. Don't let your finances be one of them. Join WTMJ's John McCure, along with Annex Wealth Management, in another free webinar. Expert panel will break down complex campaign promises and turn them into practical insights for your investments. Register for this free webinar by texting WEB to 855-616-1620. It's another webinar from Annex Wealth Management and WTMJ.
It's getting so expensive to dine out, but not at the Mine Chef restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. There's free pizza today at the Mine Shaft. Every Monday, when you buy 1 pizza, you get a second pizza free. Buy 2 pizzas, get 2 free. Buy 5, get 5 free pizzas. It's great pizza and the best Monday dining value anywhere. Business owners and managers, bring in pizza today for your loyal employees and clients. Your second pizza is free. Your employees are going to love that. Coaches, bring in your team for free pizza. Your kids and grandkids can safely play in that huge game room quietly tucked away from the dining area. Order now for your employees and pick up your hot pizza shortly, or dine in the cool and comfortable Mine Chef restaurant right there. There's 2 of them, downtown Hartford and near the EAA, just off the interstate in Oshkosh. That one's new. It's gorgeous. It's fun. It's big food, big fun at the Mine Shaft. Mondays are tough enough, so don't cook. Just don't do it. Buy 1 pizza today, get 1 free. Place your order now or just walk on in. Visit MineshaftRestaurant.com.
Bikers need protection, not just from other drivers, but unfortunately from insurance companies too. If you've been injured in a motorcycle crash, call Gruber Law Offices today. Bikers are often blamed for causing the accident because the insurance companies simply don't want to pay. At Gruber Law Offices, we've been fighting for injured bikers and their families for more than 30 years. Trust us to fight for what you deserve. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
You wake up feeling like you just boxed 12 rounds. Some wake up sweating with sore jaws, headaches, and a lot of our patients complain of brain fog. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and these signs, often joined with snoring, are sleep apnea symptoms. And if this sounds like you may have been in a struggle last night between you and this serious disorder. Many people aren't willing to fight back. But the fact is, you can't go through these nightly struggles without ramifications that each night chip away at your life's expiration date. I get it. You don't want to wear a CPAP mask. You may find out you don't need one. We have every effective sleep apnea solution available. And believe me, the mask is the last resort.
Solving your breathing triangle problem can lead to better sleep and a better quality of life. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Results may vary.
Traffic and weather sponsored by Flanners Home Entertainment, Flanners.com. Just press play.
Upgrade your entertainment setup today. For the best in audio and video for your home, indoors and outdoors, Flanners Home Entertainment delivers sound advice at the best price. Flanners, just press play.
Traffic and weather. Let's get a look at the roads with Debbie Lazaga. Hey, Deb. How's it looking?
Hey there, Julia. Yeah, we've got a little bit of a backup right now. Northbound 43 right at Highway 145 or Fond du Lac Avenue. We've got a broken down vehicle. So it's off on the left shoulder, kind of in a weird spot. Squad is with it, but it's starting to affect the ride, slowing down out of the Marquette up past that point. On southbound, it's going to be slow from before Hampton down to Capitol, back on the brakes from just south of Fond du Lac through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. A little bit more down towards the KK River. And then westbound on 94, backing up from about 16th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight will be a bit foggy, a low of 63. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and really warm. Inland, 87. At the lake, 81. Wednesday, mostly sunny, a high of 79. Thursday, a high of 80, mostly sunny. And Friday, you can see the sun again 3 days in a row, a high of 81 degrees. Current temperature right now in Milwaukee is 80 degrees.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
What you're going to do is go to prison if Brad Garrett, former FBI agent, is on the case. He locked up more guys than most of us look at when we're walking through the grocery store.
There you go.
Brad Garrett is with us with the very latest on the Trump assassination attempt. Brad, good afternoon. Thanks for hanging out with us.
You're welcome, Joe.
I want to ask you about the news conference that happened. There was a lot of little new detail in there. Most of us knew the basics because it happened over the weekend. What interested you the most of the things that you heard this afternoon about how this transpired and how it was thwarted?
So I guess the most sort of interesting, intriguing thing was the 12 hours in the bushes scenario. So, I mean, I guess it tells you several things about the guy. Now, we don't know the context of that, other than they said he was basically secreted for 12 hours. Does that mean for 12 straight hours he was between those tall bushes and the fence that he ultimately poked his weapon through? I don't know, but I that tells me several things. Is he a guy that knew President Trump was going to play that day? Had an approximate time he was going to play? Approximate time, probably no, if he was there for 12 hours. Could he have guessed? And the answer is maybe. I mean, this is a guy, John, that strikes me as really troubled. I mean, based on what we know about him and his exploits in Ukraine and his attempts in Taiwan, he wanted to join. He wanted to fight for the Ukrainians, and they figured out that he wasn't the most stable person in the world. And they said, no, you can't help us. But he's very grandiose, I think, in his thinking. He has a lot of lofty, big ideas of stuff he has no ability to carry out. And, I'm not going to diagnose him, but, grandiosity goes with a number of mental illnesses. And I'm going to guess what he is, but I'm not going to say it on the air. But the point is not relevant. But the point being is that he just got lucky that day, or yesterday, that Trump was even in the proximity of him, I think. They'll sort that out. But the idea that somebody gave him advance information, since apparently President Trump wasn't even supposed to play there until at the last minute. So we'll see how that sorts out. But the Secret Service, I think, based on what they had, did a great job. I mean, they did work in advance, one or two holes ahead of him. They did spot the muzzle of a weapon through the fence. They did take shots at the guy, and he ran. And fortunately, a witness saw him run and got a tag number and a car description, and the Martin County police in the next county over in Florida caught him.
It's breathtaking, Brad, to think about how this could have been different if he wouldn't have moved at all, if he would have been more crouched down, if he would have blah, blah, blah. But he was there. Like, this could have been very different if one or two guys weren't really on their game.
There is no doubt. I mean, he would have been probably in another, 15, 20 minutes, something like that. Literally, President Trump would have either, I don't know if he walks, but even in a golf cart, he would have gone right by this guy's line of sight. So, yeah, I mean, it could have been an entirely different, story. He had an AK, he did. He had an AK-47 with a scope on it. And, they're easy to shoot. And if you had a scope, I mean, if he was really a good shot, if he had a line of sight, they're suggesting he probably didn't, based on where Trump was when the Secret Service fired on him. Yes, to your point, John, he could have pulled it off.
If there wasn't a first assassination attempt, would we have ever learned about this, do you think?
Yes, we would have learned about it because it's just too high profile. I mean, there's so many moving parts to protecting somebody. And, when something like this happens, where there's shots fired, obviously people hear that. A guy runs, somebody sees that. And, you have this massive traffic shutdown on I-95 where the police basically blockaded the road and then they basically blocked him in. It's a technique where you put a car in the front and behind them and you slow down and they've got these big bumpers on their cars and you basically squeeze him. He can't go any further. He's boxed in.
So what's the main motive with this, do you think? Because apparently in 2016, he voted for Trump and there's just some wacky things going on. What's the motive here?
Well, I mean, who knows? But the logical one would be that Trump has made noise about not supporting Ukraine. And, in this guy's deluded mind, thinking, well, if this guy becomes president, then, Ukraine, which needs to be saved for whatever reason he thinks it needs to be saved, will go away. I'm going to guess that's it. I think he also wanted attention. I mean, look at how he was arrested. I mean, even the look on his face, he wasn't even like upset. It didn't seem like he was almost like smiling. I mean, it's just a bizarre. I have chased people who have robbed banks with guns, and I've chased them, and I didn't get in shootouts with them, but we pointed guns at each other, and they were going to get. This guy was going to get shot if he hadn't put his gun down. But the point being, he didn't even. That wasn't even on his radar screen. I mean, he left, and I think he thought, I pulled this off. I didn't shoot the president, but I pulled this off. And he drives off, and then he gets stopped. But it's even his reaction, in my view, when they caught up with him, is just sort of his, I guess, version of reality.
ABC's Brad Garrett is with us. Brad, the lone wolf scenario, this seems like it would really be a challenge for law enforcement, and this seems to be becoming increasingly more relevant. You've talked about this before. How difficult is this sort of scenario for the FBI, the Secret Service, law enforcement to scope out and then prevent?
Well, I don't know. Again, John, only what you and I know today. If there's anything that he would have been on the radar screen. I mean, people. Let's go to school shootings, since we've talked about mass shooters at school. I mean, there's already always so many signs about, they find weapons and then they end up talking to somebody, or they write something, or they do things that would suggest they're about to go shoot up a school. We'll see, but would there be any indicators with this guy? I mean, think about it. He's a lot older. He's almost 60 years old. And I'm going to guess leads a very solitary, lonely life. And so did anybody know sort of his delusion about what he ended up doing yesterday? I don't know. But from a law enforcement perspective, I haven't seen anything yet that he would be on your radar screen as far as being a threat to, the former president, the current president, the current vice president.
ABC News crime and terrorism analyst, former FBI agent Brad Garrett. Brad, always good perspective. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Take care, John.
It is 4:55 at WTMJ. So you probably heard the story. Mural with a swastika and a Star of David. It's been put up. It's been vandalized. It was re-put up, and now something new has happened to it. Julia has the very latest on this saga and why it's so interesting. We'll do that during the 5 o'clock hour. Lance Sidejohn and his time in the jungle. The Bayview hero, Medal of Honor recipient, and his time in Vietnam. We've got the latest on that. And Brian Nisnansky is back. He's back. And the Meet Chief Meteorologist will join us live coming up in about 35 minutes from now. First, your business headlines on WTMJ.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Milwaukee County is laying the groundwork for a new subdivision in Oak Creek that would have at least 24 new single-family homes designed to be permanently affordable for buyers. It's seeking $2 million in public support to help fund the project. Construction is underway on 267 apartments in Heartland after the developer closed on financing for the project. It's on a former quarry site at West Capitol Drive and will be completed in phases, with the first units available next summer. A Colombian food concept focused on traditional street food inspired items plans to join Milwaukee's East Side Crossroads Collective Food Hall on September 30th. Capybara Cafe will occupy a vendor stall that was previously home to Noodle Me. I'm Teddy Nykel with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
The Pfister Hotel is pleased to announce that it has entered Phase 3 of its extensive renovation plan. After the full revitalization of the hotel's event spaces and historic guest rooms, Phase 3 focuses on the hotel's first-floor public spaces and is set to be completed this fall. The renovations will accentuate the grandeur of Milwaukee's most beautiful lobby while reinforcing the hotel's approachable sophistication. Experience the newly renovated guest rooms today. Start planning your stay at thepfisterhotel.com.
Sit Means Sit dog training. Had a great weekend with Bella and Baxter, the dogs. Out on the deck a little bit, out in the yard a little bit. And I know it's going to be good because they're better behaved. Why are they better behaved? Because of Sit Means Sit dog training. Absolutely fantastic. Free consultation. That's how we started. They've got multiple locations. It's Sit Means Sit dog training. Bella and Baxter are better behaved because Matt and his teams at Sit Means Sit are absolutely awesome. They're patient. They're kind. They gave me what I needed to be a better dog owner. You too can have a happy, confident, obedient dog. Start like I did with a free consultation. It's Sit Means Sit dog training.
Hi, this is Julie Coombs and Cindy Stormfisher with Stormfisher Investment Group. Are you a retiring professional? Worried about the direction of our economy? About making your money last? Come see what we can do for you. Let us show you how we take care of you to help you have a great retirement. We are at 262-796-8400 or stormfisher.com. See you soon.
Securities offered through Osaic Wealth, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Arbor Point Advisors, LLC, APA. Osaic Wealth and APA are separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth and APA.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Loyalty, family,
Few things are more important. This is WTMJ Steve Scafidi. Yet another strong storm rolled through Oak Creek and South Milwaukee, causing actual damage at my house. Thankfully, I knew exactly what to do. I called my friends Jeff and Jake at Loyal Family Renovations, and Jeff came by to assess the damage. If your home has suffered storm damage, don't leave it up to the out-of-towners. Loyal Family is family-owned, and the loyalty belongs to their customers. Contact them today for a free damage inspection, and they'll help make your home remodeling dreams a reality. LoyalFamilyRenovations.com.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Just Between Friends, Milwaukee County. All right, here's 5 things that you should never buy new, moms and dads. Strollers, books, infant essentials, toys, clothing. And you can all find these gently used items at Just Between Friends, Milwaukee County, happening Thursday, September 19th. It's happening this Thursday through Sunday, September 22nd, right around the corner. It's on Wisconsin State Fair's Expo Center, Greenfield Avenue. Again, you find gently used clothing, toys, equipment for your growing family at up to 90% off the retail price. Everything is like brand new and is safety checked. Start now at milwaukeecounty.jbfsale.com. That's milwaukeecounty.jbfsale.com. I'll see you there.
$1 for just $1 over cost. You can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, just $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. Available at all 5 Griffin stores. Just $1 over cost. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Now your ideas do not have to wait. Dell Technologies and Intel are pushing what technology can do. Bring your ideas to life at Dell.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Design Exchange is where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice for us.
Mom, there's 2 Air Force men here. She knew what that meant, and she just went down to her knees.
Help us preserve the legacy of local hero Captain Lance Saijon, who died as a POW in Vietnam.
I think the guy is a hero for all ages. I mean, for the whole country.
Join John McCure and the WTMJ Cares campaign to help restore his tribute. Text Lance to 855-616-1620 to learn how you can support this vital cause. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 5:02. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, learning more details about a rollover bus crash in Random Lake.
I'm Julia Fellow. A new opportunity to get TSA pre-check.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. On the ramp from Highway 100 to westbound 94, we've got a crash. Tow truck's on the scene, and it's partially in that lane, so just be careful if you're heading through that area. We've also got a broken down vehicle northbound 43 at Fond du Lac Avenue. That is why you are seeing delays coming out of the Marquette up to that point. On the southbound side, slowing down a bit from before Hampton all the way to Capitol, and then again right through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge down towards the KK River. Westbound 94 also slowing down from about 16th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard, with the eastbound side heavy from the zoo all the way to about 68th Street. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, patchy fog, a low of 63 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny and warm, a high of 87. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, 8 students are expected to survive after suffering injuries in a rollover bus crash this morning near the Sheboygan-Ozaukee County line. Officials say a Jeep Grand Cherokee drove through a stop sign. The bus was carrying 36 students at the time of the collision. The driver of the Jeep, 32-year-old Becca Stevenson of West Bend, was cited for failure to yield at a stop sign. There was no sign of distracted driving, but Stevenson says the sun caused a glare on her windshield. Officials will visit the school tomorrow to talk to students about the safety measures in place to keep them safe while riding the bus.
Learning more about the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump, acting Secret Service directors said that yesterday's discovery of an alleged assassin began with a Secret Service agent doing a security sweep 1 hole ahead of former president.
The agent, who was visually sweeping the area of the 6th screen, saw the subject armed with what he perceived to be a rifle and immediately discharged his firearm. The subject, who did not have line of sight to the former president, fled the scene. He did not fire or get off any shots at our agents.
As we all know, this is the second time in a matter of weeks the former president has been targeted with attempted assassination, evading security, and getting within range of him.
There's a new opportunity to get TSA pre-check. AAA is hosting enrollment events at its branch offices in Milwaukee and Waukesha.
TSA PreCheck is still in demand. Nick Jarmus with AAA.
PreCheck allows you to go through one of the designated PreCheck lanes at security. And the benefit of that is you're not going to have to remove your shoes or your belt or your coat. You're also going to be able to keep your laptop in your bags, your liquids and foods in your bag.
The perk provides convenience and can save time, too.
Average time for someone with TSA PreCheck to get through security is about 10 minutes, which is significantly shorter than non-PreCheck, especially if you're talking about major airports.
Jessica Ty, WTMJ News.
You can enroll at AAA's Waukesha branch office this week, the following 2 weeks at the Milwaukee branch.
A Bucks legend returns to his roots. Junior Bridgman announced late last week he's purchasing a 10% stake in the team. The Milwaukee Business Journal's Rich Kirchen tells Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News he's an example of a player who's made more money in retirement than during his days as an athlete.
Built a couple of large businesses, one fast food franchisee, and he's had some locations in Milwaukee area, and also Coca-Cola distributor.
Bridgman's stake is now the fourth largest in the team.
Coming up, getting in the Halloween spirit at the movies.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:05.
This report sponsored by Fox World Travel. Go, Fox, go. Hey, it's WTMJ's Steve Scafidi with an announcement about my next WTMJ listener trip. Love these. Fox World Travel has crafted a fantastic itinerary which has special significance for me and you. We'll be visiting the country of my people, yes, Sicily. And to make it even more interesting, we're adding the country of Malta. It's called Sicily and Malta Mosaic, and it's happening in October of 2025 next year. Sicily is a fascinating island with an interesting and unique history. We'll see ancient ruins, charming old towns, sparkling coastlines, archaeological sites, and Europe's tallest active volcano, Mount Etna. And then bonus, we'll head to beautiful Malta, one of the smallest and friendliest countries in the world. My wife Kathy and I would love to have you join us on this special WTMJ listener trip. We've done it before. They're always fun. Join us. To get more information or make a reservation, visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Don't miss out on the early booking discount. Sicily and Malta Mosaic. Call today.
Phones aren't wired to the wall anymore. We carry them in our pockets. Cars can even drive themselves, right? Technology advances have changed our lives.
That's football legend Emmitt Smith.
Some of the most fascinating advances are happening with the medical professionals at QC Kinetics. I'm talking about natural regenerative treatments for joint pain without surgery or harmful drugs.
Tens of thousands of patients have discovered these breakthroughs firsthand at QC Kinetics. With over 100 board-certified providers across the country, they're transforming the world of pain treatment using your body's own healing properties to help restore your aching joints.
Why would you keep going back to the old tired ways of treating chronic joint pain? Check out the latest advances at QC Kinetics. And here's an idea for you. You can call them on that smartphone right there in your pocket.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 5:08.
Overall enrollment is up at the University of Wisconsin. 8 of the UW campuses saw higher enrollment this fall, with UW-Madison seeing record enrollment at more than 51,000 students, highest enrollment since 2020. The Board of Regents recently approved an $885 million proposal to expand program offerings and funding for its remaining branch campuses. If legislators approve the proposal, UW president said he would not recommend raising tuition until 2027.
Another strong weekend for Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
The juice is loose. I'm going to make you so happy.
The Tim Burton sequel again took top at the box office with more than $51 million in ticket sales.
I'm so sorry. I did the wrong open.
Sports. Let's do sports.
Time for your WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. Thank you. One call, that's all sports desk. Packers improve to 1-1 following Sunday's 16-10 win over the Colts. First career win for Malik Willis. Willis completed 12 of 14 passes for 122 yards and a touchdown. And Brewers' magic number to clinch the division is down to 3. A 4-2 road trip. 7-game homestand begins tonight against the Phillies. Coverage begins at 6 o'clock right here on WTMJ.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 5:09.
This report sponsored by Pella of Wisconsin. Discover Pella now, pay later at PellaWI.com.
Jeff Levering here, asking the question, what does baseball have in common with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Manufacturing. Pella manufactures all their own products. Baseball teams have a similar homegrown strategy by developing its own players in the minors. Testing. Pella tests every product thousands upon thousands of times to ensure it stands the test of time. The ultimate test for baseball players to get called up to the big leagues, hoping to play well enough to stay. Pella is also the window and door equivalent of hitting for the cycle. Quality craftsmanship and innovative design are built into every Pella product for timeless beauty and performance. And now, Gina Della from Pella is here to call the big finale.
Thanks, Jeff. Pella windows and doors are best in class, not only from the endless styles, but for the features you can't see. And now for something you almost can't believe. Get as low as $18 per window and $81 per patio door per month. Hurry, the deal lasts only until September 30th, so visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
Happy Monday. Hope you had a really great weekend. I want to talk to you for a second about Lance Sijon. Lance Sijon is an American hero. At age 25, the Bayview fighter pilot died in Vietnam in prison after being tortured. Guy Gruters was a POW with Sijon. He was with Sijon in Sijon's last moments, and I recently had the chance to speak to him. Guy Gruters knew Lance Sijon from the Air Force Academy. They both ended up in a bamboo jail in the middle of the jungle. Gruters told me about the first time he saw the severely injured Sijon in the jungle.
He looks like a skeleton, like he's not even, an adult. This man had bones sticking out of his left leg that they'd wrapped with bandages, but it was all bleeding. It was just a terrible situation. And I said, "Who are you?" And he said, "Lance." I said, "Lance who?" He said, "Sijon, Lance Sijon." I said, "Oh, no, not Sijon. Not Sijon. Not Sijon." I was honestly in shock. I can literally pick him up in my arms like a baby. He's like 60 to 80 pounds.
His critically injured friend refused to cooperate with his captors.
And so they beat him, and they beat him on his wounds.
Gruters was with Lance his last moments alive.
They beat him to death because he would not answer any questions but name, service number, date of birth, name, rank, service number, date of birth. When they took him out of there, he just called for, "Dad, Dad, I need help. Dad, I need you. Dad." This was absolute martyrdom. That's what this was. It was just a horror story. It was just a sorrow. It was a deep sorrow.
55 years later, Gruters is still sad and very proud.
I think the guy is a hero for all ages. I mean, for the whole country, not just Milwaukee or Wisconsin. I think he's one of the very finest of all time.
Such a beautiful story, John. And this is what we're trying to do. We are trying to raise money to make something right. His memorial site, where there's an F-4 Phantom fighter jet, a replica of what he flew when it went down between the Laos-Vietnam border. We're trying to restore it and bring it back to its glory. And his sister started it, right? When was the last time? When was it erected?
So she, 13 years younger, brought the plane to where it is now. And it's been sitting out in the wind in the winter and the heat of the summer.
Yeah.
And so we need to restore the plane. We need to just take care of it because it's his legacy, right? It's his representation in our community, and he's a hero.
It's going to cost $50,000. So text Lance, Lance, to 855-616-1620. Lance, to our WTMJ talk and text line. It'll take you to a landing page where you can learn more about him, see pictures, share it with others. This is a Bayview High School graduate, and he's one of our own, and he's a hero, a Medal of Honor recipient 7 years after he passed away.
There aren't many of those. So if you'd like to help us protect his legacy, text the word Lance to 855-616-1620. Please help us. Any dollar amount makes a difference. Lance to 855-616-1620.
While you rest on the weekends, we work for you. Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins. The latest in news.
People usually vote for one of the mainstream candidates or they don't vote. I'm just not sure if Kennedy's endorsement of Trump will make a difference.
Entertainment.
This is what happens when you make movies aimed at women audiences. Hollywood is like, oh, that's interesting. Let's never do that.
And more.
It is the most horrifying picture you've ever seen of your life. It's in Vanity Fair.
Every Sunday morning starting at 8 on WTMJ.
Landworks, Wisconsin. Big project, small project. They'll do your project and do it right. I know, because they did our project. It is absolutely stunning. So they took out the old landscaping, put in new stuff, took out lighting, put in new lighting. It's transformed our house. It's the most beautiful house in the neighborhood. It's because of Joe and Manny and the teams at Landworks, Wisconsin. AJ and the leaders over there, they're going to watch out for you like they're watching out for their own yard. Now's the time to get in dormant pruning. Get on the schedule. That's the stuff. I never know when to trim or prune stuff. They know at Landworks, and they do it when things are not sending energy to the rest of the plant is the best way to put it. Get on the schedule now, and Landworks, Wisconsin will take care of you. They'll take your yard and make it beautiful. Take your beautiful yard and take it to the next level. They do commercial. They do residential. They do it the right way. It's Landworks, Wisconsin.
Buying a home should be a joy, but could you imagine doing this without a realtor? Paperwork, inspections, appraisals, deadlines, showings, market research? Or you could relax. Or understanding legal documents, negotiating offers, coordinating inspections, securing finance. Oh, sorry. A realtor can take the stress out of the home buying process. See how at wra.org/a-realtor-can. Brought to you by the Wisconsin Realtors Association.
Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Time is running out on the Brewers regular season. Hurry up and catch the crew battle the Diamondbacks September 20th through the 22nd for College Night and a Brewers Puppy Vest giveaway on the 21st. Get your seats now at brewers.com/tickets.
Since 1964, we've changed your tires and so much more. Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
Traffic and weather. Debbie, how's our ride rolling on this Monday?
Well, we do still have some delays out there. That earlier accident on the ramp from Highway 194 westbound, they got a tow truck out there, and it is partially blocking that ramp there. So just be extra careful if you're driving through that area. But westbound itself, you're seeing delays from about 16th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound is backing up from Highway G to Highway 16, then back on the brakes from Barker Road all the way to Calhoun. And then from the zoo all the way to about Hawley Road. Southbound 41's a hefty ride south of Appleton Avenue down past Capitol Drive. Southbound on 43, also seeing delays from just before Hampton down to Capitol. And then you're back on the brakes through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. Stays pretty heavy all the way down to the KK River. And on westbound 894, we got some backups out of the Mitchell out to Loomis. There is still an accident on the left shoulder on northbound 94 just before you get to the Mitchell interchange. So keep that in mind as well. It's on the left shoulder, though, so it's not in traffic. Hey, while you're out navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Volkswagen Traffic Tip Line at 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, clear skies, a low of 63. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, warm, a high of 87. A little bit cooler along the lake. These are really warm temperatures for this time of year. On Wednesday, mostly sunny, a high of 79. On Thursday, mostly sunny, a high of 80. And on Friday, mostly sunny, wow, high of 81 degrees. Right now, it's gorgeous out, sunny skies, and 77.
At least 80%, John, of a mural in Milwaukee's Harambe neighborhood was shredded to pieces. Why? I think you talked about this on Friday, right?
We did.
Swastika is blended together with the Star of David. You may know exactly where this is. This is northwest corner of Holton and Locust, where it used to have a mural of Breonna Taylor. Breonna Taylor was killed by Louisville police officers. So the words underneath this swastika blended together with the Star of David is the words, the irony of becoming what you once hated. The owner says it's meant to inspire conversation. Within hours, it was splattered with black paint by Sarah, who painted over the statement and told TMJ4 News this.
I just needed something that was dark enough to cover it. There's enough hate out here. We don't need this. It doesn't fit the neighborhood. I get what they're trying to express. I just feel like they could have expressed it a different way.
Minutes later, the person who created it, an owner of the building, showed up and shouting ensued.
You don't want history to repeat itself. So that to make people aware of the genocide.
So news conference just took place. It's going on right now at that corner. And there's people with huge signs that say end the occupation, end in Israelis' occupation of Gaza.
Say no to genocide. Right. Big signs.
So why use a swastika? That's just really disgusting. The owner, Ihsan Atta, is fine with the vandalism. That's what he wanted.
I actually appreciate that she did it because by her doing that, she actually brought all the media attention to it. It's too bad that she's trying to stifle free speech and the freedom of expression to bring awareness of the genocide that's taking place in Palestine.
So this is what he wanted. He wanted some big outrage. There's people in the community that were speaking out. They say this doesn't represent us. There's actually a tattoo shop in that same building. People were thinking that it was his business that had the swastika up.
Yep.
Horrible. He's out. He's moving out now.
Because he doesn't want to be part of it, associated with it.
He doesn't want any association with it. Who does? But people who live and work nearby, they're still not happy. Regina Singleton and Anthony Walker, who live right next door, spoke to TMJ4's Brendan Jones this weekend.
When you look at this, what do you get?
Hatred, judgment, don't get unity.
This is going to spark conflict, controversy, stuff we don't need right now.
Yeah, it's just terrible. The message is to talk about the genocide in Palestine, according to the owner and creator. And here's what he had to say here.
So the message intended is to bring awareness of the genocide that's taking place in Palestine, specifically in Gaza, but also now the West Bank, that's been happening for the last 11 months.
Milwaukee's Common Council condemned it. The building owner says it was never meant to be a hate message. So I think it's ignorant. The Nazi used swastikas. It's an image of hate. It's a deliberate, organized, state-sponsored persecution, extermination that Nazis used to kill approximately 6 million European Jews. I mean, I think that this historically is just wrong.
It's terrible. You know, and Ihsan Atta, the owner of the building, who wants to hide behind free speech, we're journalists. We believe in free speech.
Yeah, we can speak
Big
too.
time. But here's the deal. Free speech is not an absolute right. You cannot stand in a movie theater and shout fire.
Yeah.
And expect people to trample themselves.
And what is this causing? This is causing so much pain. That's all I see.
And free speech has limits, too. You can't just do anything that you want to do. And even if you take him and you give him, okay, you can have free speech. Just because you can do something doesn't always mean you should do something. This is despicable. You know how despicable this is and how we know? Every single member of the Common Council either signed onto a resolution or put out their own resolution condemning this and saying to take it down. Every single member. I'd like to know the last time the Milwaukee Common Council had every single member agree on anything. And they all are condemning this. Even those on the Common Council who have shown sympathy to the Palestinians.
You know what's so interesting in Germany, John, is that they prohibit, it's against the law, to disseminate any of that propaganda, to show a swastika, unless if it's for a historical reference. So there was like some questions of Inglourious Bastards, for example, and having that. But if it's a historical reference, you can. But
like in a movie or a TV show. But you can't, like you couldn't do what happened here.
Yes, you can't even make the Nazi salute or anything like that in Germany. It's really interesting. But he's hiding again behind freedom of expression and speech. But I guess we can say this, we have freedom as well. And I think that that's really stupid of him.
Yeah, I think it is too. And now it's bad for business. I mean, he owns the building, and the tattoo shop has left him now. So now he's got an opening.
Everybody knows.
The neighborhood is ticked. Channel 12 just interviewed somebody from the neighborhood who said, look, we're bringing all this bad press, bad reputation, drama to the neighborhood. It's just a bad, bad situation. Nice job recapping that. Kind of irritating, but it's good to kind of walk back to how we got to where we are today. It is 5:24 at WTMJ. Let's check out the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Apple pulled down NASDAQ today. Apple had a really bad day, which is because they unveiled the new iPhone and nobody's buying it apparently. But the Dow hit a record high. The Fed rate cut is on the horizon. All that is kind of baked into what's happening. Let's start with the Dow. It's at 41,622. It's up 228 points on the day, 0.5%. The S&P was also up on the day, 7 points. It's at 5633. The NASDAQ was down 92 points on the day. It now sits at 17,592. All eyes pointing to Wednesday when the Fed talks about their decision. Get an honest opinion of where you are financially and where you're headed. Work with a fee-only fiduciary. Start at AnnexWealth.com. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
There's only one store that gives you every possible choice in diamonds.
Welcome to Kessler's.
There are some things that you cannot not know. Do you know God's heart? In creation, you can hear his echo. In your conscience, you can feel his disappointment. But in Jesus, you can hear what he has to say. You can know his promise, his intentions, his heart.
Dr. Michael Ziegler this week on The Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Hey y'all, Debbie Loziga here for my friends at Kohler Services. Yeah, it's been hot. It's going to be hot for the rest of the week, too. And everyone knows that taking a nice cool shower is one of the best ways of staving off that heat. How's your shower looking? A little long in the tooth? Well, I've got some advice for you. Give Kohler Services a call. They've got a beautiful portfolio of their exclusive Luckstone crushed stone material. It looks just like marble, but it's at a fraction of the price. And they help you design your shower with a home visit. Jason came to my house, and when it was convenient for me, of course, he brought samples over of the Luckstone material so I could actually touch and feel it. He took measurements and helped me choose a color palette and made a custom design with a quote at the end. It was so convenient. And get this month only, get $1,000 off and 0 interest for 12 months on your Luckstone shower remodel. That's right. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
Detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever. Overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for President.
Oh, man, it's getting so expensive to dine out, but not at the Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. There is free pizza today at the Mineshaft. Every Monday when you buy one pizza, you get a second pizza free. Buy 2 pizzas, get 2 free. Buy 5, get 5. You buy 100 pizzas, you get 100 pizzas for free. The best Monday dining value anywhere. Business owners and managers, bring in pizza for your loyal employees and clients. Your second pizza is free. Your employees are going to love it. It's great pizza. Coaches, bring in your team for free pizza. Your kids and grandkids can safely play in that huge game room. It's quietly tucked away from the dining area. It's big food. It's big fun. It's the Mineshaft. Order now for your employees and pick up your hot pizza shortly, or dine in the cool and comfortable Mineshaft Restaurant in beautiful downtown Hartford or near the EAA in Oshkosh. Mondays are tough enough. Don't cook. Buy one pizza today, get one free. MineshaftRestaurant.com. It's the amazing Mineshaft.
Jen Latta here from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. I have told you about the delicious pizza you can find at Proof Pizza inside St. Kate. Now there's even more to be excited about with new sandwiches on the menu. Available every day from 11 to 4, you can enjoy options like the turkey pesto, the meatball hero, the Italian hoagie, and more. Skip the same old lunch at your desk and grab a delicious sandwich from Proof instead. Order inside the restaurant or directly from the bar at St. Kate. Explore the new sandwiches and the rest of the menu at proofpizzamke.com.
These are powerful, FDA-approved pharmacological pain treatments precisely administered by an easy injection to the root source of your pain. Positive patient outcomes are over 91%. And we do this conveniently. The entire process is performed in office, so it's very easy for our patients.
Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, with the help of some of the finest pain relief physicians in the country, have helped bring their proprietary pain treatment formula to the forefront of pain relief medicine. Having performed over 100,000 pain treatments and counting, patient results have shown again and again that pain relief is possible in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, with some patients' pain relief lasting more than 2 years.
We're in network with almost all major insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid, and this could mean zero out-of-pocket costs for your pain relief treatment.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Is it time to replace the siding at your house? First off, you got to go to Tri-County Contracting. You can hit up their showroom in New Berlin to check out the vinyl siding and the LP Smart Side they have on display. They'll help you find that siding and the color that you will love. And if you're worried about price, don't forget about the 30-year no-faded paint warranty. Transform your house and increase the value. Worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Traffic is sponsored by St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores. Highway 100 and Layton Avenue in Greenfield. 23rd and Lincoln and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee. Great bargains and a great cause. You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:31. I'm John Mercure. Your top story: 2 campaign stops set for the Badger State this week.
I'm Julia Fellow. A man is dead after a crash in the Wisconsin International Speedway.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Eastbound on 94. We got backups from Highway G to Highway 16 through that construction zone. Then we've got more delays basically from Highway F all the way through the Barker Road area to about Calhoun. Back on the brakes out of the zoo all the way to Hawley Road. Southbound on 43, backups now from just south of Silver Spring to Capitol. And then again right through the Marquette over the high rise all the way down to the KK River. Northbound 43 is a bit backed up out of the Marquette all the way up almost to North Avenue. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight we have patchy fog possible, low of 62. Tomorrow mostly sunny, a high of 80 degrees. Current temperature right now in Milwaukee is 77 degrees.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Decision Wisconsin, 2 campaign stops in the Badger State this week. Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance will stop at the Eau Claire Event Center tomorrow with a focus on securing the border. This marks Vance's second trip to Eau Claire, his 5th to Wisconsin. Vice President Kamala Harris will head to Madison on Friday. While there are no details yet for her rally, it will be her 4th visit to the state and her first to Madison.
The FBI confirms their investigation into an assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. ABC's Josh Margolin tells Wisconsin's Morning News the Secret Service is still analyzing whether or not the response Sunday was a success or failure.
We know that it was a failure in Butler, Pennsylvania on July 13th, but yesterday there's some view that this was a success. That's why there are redundancies. Obviously, the Secret Service would prefer somebody to never leave a security bubble, but that's not possible, especially for a candidate, especially 50 days out from an election.
Former President Donald Trump is scheduled to be at a town hall event in Flint, Michigan tomorrow.
A man dies after a crash at the Wisconsin International Speedway. The Allegheny County Sheriff's Office says the crash happened Saturday afternoon. A man driving along the drag strip hit a concrete bridge rail and was ejected from his car into a ditch near the track. The 65-year-old man died from his injuries.
A developing story we're following for you this afternoon. Police completing a tactical situation near National 24th Street. Very elaborate on the south side. Officers went on the roof, found a person hiding on the other roof, and witnesses say that there were 2 others arrested. FBI is on scene. We'll bring you more details as they become available.
Southeast Wisconsin's weather pattern is expected to stay dry for the foreseeable future. Storm Team 4 meteorologist Tyler Moore says the next best chance for some rain won't be for at least a week.
If you're wondering when our next rain chances are, I'm thinking Sunday into this time next week, Monday, maybe Tuesday, maybe some rain chances. And that's not even looking like a home run in the forecast either. So we still have about a week to go before even there's any small rain chances in the forecast.
So far in September, Milwaukee is more than 3 inches off the average amount for the month. Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky joins us coming up here in about 3 minutes.
And the forecast may call for sun, but the city of Milwaukee already thinking ahead to Christmas. The city is now accepting donation applications for the annual Christmas tree. DPW says the ideal tree should stand at least 30 feet tall, must be accessible for harvest with a crane. Interested donors should contact the city no later than October 4th.
You can be your own tour guide during Open Doors Milwaukee this year.
New neighborhood walking tours are coming to the Historic Milwaukee app. They're self-guided tours that let you explore an area's history and architecture anytime. Historic Milwaukee Inc. events director Grace Furr tells what's on tap about the Historic King Drive tour.
Going all the way from Keefe to downtown, essentially. If you're out doing Doors Open, let's say, you go to 41 Floral, another new site is going to be the new Thrive On location.
And another for Lindsay Heights.
And it's narrated by Venus Williams, who's the executive director of Alice's Garden, which is a beautiful place, also part of Doors Open.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Packers improved to 1-1 following Sunday's 16-10 win over the Colts. It's the first career win for Malik Willis as a starting quarterback, impressing the head coach.
I mean, this guy got here 3 weeks ago. And for him to be able to go out there and command our offense, I think that speaks volumes of who he is as a person and the work that he's put in.
Willis completed 12 of 14 passes for 122 yards and a touchdown. Packers travel to Nashville this weekend to face the Titans team that traded Willis to the Packers in late August. Awkward. Brewers' magic number to clinch division down to 3, and a 4-2 road trip just took place. 7-game homestand begins tonight against the Phillies. Coverage begins following the 6 o'clock news right here on WTMJ.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 5:36.
Sponsored by Grandview Homes, the name you know, the name you trust. GrandviewHomes.com.
When you need to sell quickly, choose Grandview to buy your home, even if it's less than perfect. Why waste time and money on making updates, finding a real estate agent, and dealing with showings when you can sell your home fast and easy? At Grandview Homes, we'll buy your home completely as is. That means no repairs, not even a clean out. Just take what you want and leave the stress and the mess to us. Unlike the traditional approach, Grandview Homes gives you an offer in hours and pays in cash for your home. We close on the day you choose in as little as 10 days. Plus, there's no closing costs and no hidden fees. Just imagine selling your home without the effort of finding a real estate agent or dealing with showings and updates. With Grandview, you can skip the hassle. From family homes to rentals, condos, and fixer-uppers, Grandview Homes is your one-stop shop for a smooth sale. Visit GrandviewHomes.com for your fair cash offer today. Grandview Homes, the fastest and easiest way to sell your home.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Oh, my God. He's back. We are so excited. He's Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky.
I was just talking about you this weekend.
We've been talking about you all week. How are you?
I'm doing all right, guys.
What happened?
Give us the lowdown. Tell our listeners what you've been going through.
Well, it's been a challenge. Yeah, it's been a challenging week. That's for sure. So rewind last Monday night. I started to get some pretty high fevers, and my pain on my lower right side of my abdomen really started to ramp up. Now, this is a pain that I felt like over a month ago. It was very subtle, though. Didn't think anything of it, kind of foo-fooed it, and then people tell me, hey, that's kind of where your appendix is. I ended up going to urgent care like 2 weeks later, and he was like, well, you'd be in a lot more pain, and, you might even be sick if it was your appendix. Well, turns out it was my appendix, and it probably had been infected for that long period of time because it eventually had ruptured.
Oh, no.
So... which can be a really serious issue, and you can get really, really sick when it ruptures.
Yes.
So what kind of crazy happened, though, since it was over such a long period of time, and I feel like I do have a good immune system, my appendix developed this, sac without, getting into even grosser detail around the actual appendix, so that when it did rupture, it contained that infection to what now is kind of a bigger appendix mass that's still inside me as we talk right now.
How do they get rid of it? What do they do?
Yeah, so instead of like you hear many people, they just get their appendix taken out and they're out of the hospital in a day, tops. Unfortunately, in my case, we got to knock this thing out with like serious antibiotics. I have a PICC line, which is an IV port basically that I administer from home. My own antibiotics through an IV in the morning. And then I also have, this is probably TMI, but I have a drain bag to that mass in my appendix now.
Good.
So we're attacking it that way. And then the plan is after 6 weeks, it should be safe enough to take out.
Now, we know and then, you're a tough guy, but shouldn't you still be at home? Shouldn't you be? You're working.
I texted
Listen what you just told us, and you're working.
That's what a lot of people have asked me. And you know what? Honestly, if I was out there working, building Interstate 43 right now, I probably would not be working.
Mm-hmm.
But thankfully, I do have a job that can be demanding, and there are a lot of things that make it more demanding, like being remote, being out at the fair, doing things like that. But if I have a bare minimum, day where I'm in the weather office and I'm just working on the forecast, I hop out in the studio, do the weather a few times. I can certainly do that. And quite frankly, it helps me, or else I would go completely bonkers if I was just sitting at home. Like, what am I going to do? Go golfing in this situation with a drain bag?
Right. Well, are you in pain right now? Are you uncomfortable?
Yeah, I'm in pain.
Yeah.
The pain has gone down, though, significantly, even since just a couple days ago. It's more of a comfort thing. Like, I don't sleep well with all this crap attached to me. And it's... I know there are a lot worse things that people deal with and whatever, but this has been a challenge. Keep in mind, I am the same person who got queasy with a shot, and now I'm administering my own IV. So I've gone through. I've definitely had to grow up.
Do you have to bring the IV pole into work?
Yes.
Do you have all that stuff at work, or do you just do that off work hours?
Most of this stuff I'm able to knock out in the morning. Like, I even had a nurse come to the house this morning, and she did the blood draw that I'm going to need to continue to do, and she cleaned up like the areas of like where I have
Your
the
tummy.
IV port and yes, the drain and
we
stuff.
need to make sure that's clean. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be a long process. So the moral of the story, honestly, is if you have a certain pain or if something just doesn't seem right that you haven't felt before, and that's kind of the direction I wish I would have taken, go get it checked out, because what my mind was telling me was, this really doesn't feel that bad, and
Just tough it out.
If this is what should be sending me to the ER, then what? That's you know what I mean? Like this, that was kind of more my mentality. So like, trust your body, because it definitely was a unique pain versus something that I had felt before.
Yeah, so you're right. You can talk yourself into, well, it must be indigestion, or I pulled an ab muscle, but you kind of know if it's not right.
Yeah, and part of me also, like, I think in hindsight, like, I think I didn't want to believe that I had something wrong.
Sure, yeah.
Totally.
So we are glad that you are back, and we'll continue to say prayers for you, send them your direction.
Totally, yeah. I got a road ahead, but I'm feeling good. I don't want anybody to feel like bad. Like, it sucks, but I'm home now. I can see my family. I'm at work. I'm moving forward.
Oh, that's all good news. How about this weather, Niz? It's unbelievably warm for this time of year. It seems
it's
like
calmed down for you.
Yeah, it's been really, really quiet, but it's also been really dry. Like, I know, depending on the crop, depending on the harvest, I'm sure farmers would like a nice dose, but it does still beat like a super muddy field that they would need to harvest in. But as far as everybody else with our lawns, getting really dry out there, and we don't have any rain in sight until maybe this weekend. So your forecast looks like tonight, partly cloudy, patchy fog, a low of 62. Tuesday, mostly sunny, up to 80 again. Wednesday, mostly sunny, beautiful, 78. Thursday, mostly sunny and warm, 82. Friday, partly cloudy and very warm, a high temperature of 86 degrees. So summer lovers, loving it. Those who are ready to rock their flannels and their shackets, you're going to be waiting for a little while. Yeah.
He's Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky. Good to have you back, Niz.
All right, happy to be back, guys. See you.
Yes.
It's 5:44 at WTMJ.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
There's an active car fire on Brewers Boulevard southbound.
Call me, Debbie Loziga, at the Hall Volkswagen traffic tip line at 414-238-9329.
There's a multi-vehicle accident on 45 northbound, just over Mayfair Road. Looks like the left 2 lanes are blocked.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it?
There's a multi-vehicle accident. Looks like the left 2 lanes are blocked.
Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Elmbrook Family Dental. Speaking of your health, make sure that you go and get a cleaning, get yourself checked. Your teeth are so important for the rest of your body. You can go to elmbrookfamilydental.com. That's ELMBROOK familydental.com. What separates them from anyone else is their quality of dentistry. They're so gentle. They're about to fix my crown too, getting it done for me in just a day. Get scheduled. Their new patient process is so easy, and they're accepting new patients at their new Wauwatosa location right at Research Park on Mayfair Avenue. They also have 2 convenient locations in Brookfield. Check it out at elmbrookfamilydental.com.
Hi everyone, Jeff Levering here, and when we moved into our home 10 years ago, we knew the time had come to replace our roof. That came sooner than we thought with the storms during the spring. So we called the pros at Ridgetop Exteriors, and they did more than just live up to their motto, trusted, local, and affordable. Within just a few weeks, we had our new roof picked and completed. Their team treated us just like family, and the customer service was a real home run. Give Ridgetop Exteriors a call and book your appointment today to ensure your project gets completed before the next big storm.
Bank 59 has a mission to make lives better. That mission extends beyond their customers and communities to their employees. Bank 59 was just honored again by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as a top workplace. That makes 15 years in a row. In fact, they were named the #1 midsize employer in the region and earned special recognition for the company's overall direction. Want to learn more about working with the great people at Bank 59? Visit bank59.com/careers. Equal Opportunity Employer, member FDIC.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Steve Scafidi for Universal Windows Direct. Football season is here. You know what that means. Fall is just around the corner with cooler temperatures on the way. Time to make sure your home is ready. If you've been dealing with drafty windows all summer, now is the perfect time to upgrade with Universal Windows Direct before the cold weather hits. Call 414-410-2000. Schedule your free in-home estimate today. For every 2 windows you buy, get the next 2 free. Plus, if you need it, 0% financing for 60 months for the last windows you will ever need. Go to UWD.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
$1 for just $1 over cost. You can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, just $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. Available at all 5 Griffin stores. Just $1 over cost. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Traffic and weather sponsored by Flanders Home Entertainment, Flanders.com. Just press play.
Upgrade your entertainment setup today. For the best in audio and video for your home, indoors and outdoors, Flanders Home Entertainment delivers sound advice at the best price. Flanders, just press play.
Traffic and weather, let's get a look at the roads. Just the roads. Debbie Loziga.
All right, yes. Right now we are looking at a bit of a backup right now, southbound 43. Just south of Silver Spring, we got the right lane blocked with a broken down cement truck. So you'll have to move over towards the left, especially right when you get on at Silver Spring. You're going to have to merge a little bit quickly there. So just be extra careful with that. Southbound on 41, backups from just south of Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive. Eastbound 94, still a bit tight between Highway G and Highway 16, that construction zone there. And then again, out of the Barker Road area and then out of the Zoo interchange all the way to Hawley Road, with westbound 94 tightening up out of the Marquette all the way towards Mitchell Boulevard. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Jonathan & Son Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Want to bring you the very latest on the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. The Secret Service, FBI, and U.S. Attorney's Office in West Palm Beach, Florida, has just conducted and concluded a press conference there, bringing us up to speed on what we know. We want to bring in Don Mahalik, ABC News law enforcement contributor and a retired senior Secret Service agent. Thank you so much, Don, for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Don, it seems increasingly clear that this was, at least as we sit here today and know it, a lone wolf. How big a threat are these sort of situations and individuals to the safety and security of our leaders?
I think for the last couple of years, the threat from lone wolves has been punctuated by both the FBI, DHS, and the National Director of Intelligence. The problem these days, and the reason we're seeing so much lone wolf activity, is the internet. Online activity, you can get radicalized online in many quarters of the internet. So somebody these days doesn't have to go to a meeting or go to find somebody in order to get radicalized. They can, a few clicks, and they can get all the crazy information they need to make themselves even crazier and become a lone wolf attacker. Unfortunately, a lot of this information is being pushed into the U.S. by foreign sources, also well documented. The Iranians, the Chinese, the Russians, all trying to influence our election, all trying to usurp the U.S. election process and all try to influence it. And unfortunately, you have people in this country that go to these corners of the internet and give credence to what they're reading and what they're seeing. It's a tremendous challenge for law enforcement to stay on top of this type of thing and to also be able to identify and track somebody, a lone wolf attacker who leaves very little footprint and really, is very hard to find and track in a nation of over 300 million people.
I wanted you to dive into that a little bit, Don. It seems like if there's 20 people planning an attack, there's 20 people who may talk, who may get loose lips, who may screw up. If there's one person and they're hell-bent on keeping it to themselves, then it's one person. How do you detect that? How do you get inside of that?
So the Secret Service did a couple of studies back in the late 90s about assassins and what assassins do in a profile of assassins, called the Exceptional Case Study. When they did this study, they uncovered a couple of things. One, assassins typically have a grievance, a preserved grievance. Number two, they're typically frustrated about something. And number three, they typically have an unusual direction of interest towards somebody. And number four, of course, they tend to have mental health challenges. So in a situation like that, typically somebody somewhere knows what this individual is up to and knows that this individual is having issues. And we'll go back to the Georgia school shooting that just happened, that tragedy. That student and that situation, his family, his friends, they knew that he was doing something or something wasn't right with him, but they wrote it off as that's just him, didn't report, and ignored the signs. This all goes back to people need to pay attention to people showing signs of being in crisis and should be trying to help them or push them towards help so that crisis doesn't become something deadly.
Can you tell us more about how he was trying to recruit Afghan soldiers? What did you glean from that?
So, according to what we're hearing, is he was a tremendous supporter of multiple issues, the latest being the Ukraine. He had traveled to the Ukraine. He had been to the Ukraine. He had protests for the Ukraine, in the Ukraine, and outside of the Ukraine. And allegedly, when he was over there, the Ukrainian International Army, I think it's called, said it wouldn't bring him into their ranks, but said, why don't you go recruit other fighters to join us? And in his mind, I guess the easiest fighters to join would be former Afghan fighters to bring over to the Ukraine because it's a much shorter trip than coming from the U.S. in order to enhance the Ukrainian International Army and resistance. I guess that shows you the state of mind that he was in, because according to what we've heard, none of that ever happened, but it was something that he was, quote unquote, trying to do.
And the reach. I wouldn't even know how to get a hold of an Afghan soldier, John.
Yeah, right. Don Mihalik's with a senior Secret Service agent, retired. I want to ask you about what they found and how far away he was, Don, because we all criticized the role of the Secret Service and local law enforcement after the first assassination attempt on Donald Trump. This guy was 500 yards away, but with a scope and a rifle, and apparently had some sort of line of vision. He could see through the bushes. To me, it's remarkable that the advance team, the first layer, spotted this guy and took care of business. Can you talk about that a little bit?
So when President Trump went to the golf course, it was what's called an off-the-record movement. It was unknown that he was going there. It wasn't on his schedule anywhere. It was basically a wake up in the morning and, hey, I'm going to go golfing today. So it doesn't give the Secret Service time to really build out a security plan, but the Secret Service typically has, in their back pocket, security plans for situations like off-the-record movements, especially at golf courses, because clearly he's golfed there before. When the Secret Service takes a president, in this case, one president, to that golf course, They are doing it with, with the resources they have, and they set up 3 elements, basically: a forward element, a middle element with the president, and a trailing element. The forward element's job is to go ahead of the former president and basically vet the next holes or the next parts of the golf course and basically look for threats. Most cases, it's more about moving golfers along, but it's also to look for threats. What we saw the other day was the agent that was part of that element actually was, as they were screening those bushes, because clearly they knew that that area was a problem, he saw movement in the bushes. He saw a rifle come out, and he drew his sidearm and engaged the threat, and the suspect dropped the rifle and then left the area and then tried to escape. Tremendous observation and surveillance skills on the part of the agent, but that's what they train you to do. And it was a tremendous response by him, and his response keyed the rest of the detail on evacuating and protecting the former president and keeping him safe. And also what we know is where the suspect was, he did not have a line of sight, according to the acting director of former President Trump. Former President Trump was far enough away and on a different hole where the suspect could not see him yet.
Yikes. And the suspect, apparently, reports are saying that he was there for 11 plus hours. What does that tell you?
That tells me that he was committed to trying to do something, that there was an element of planning with this suspect, and he clearly had an unusual direction of interest towards the former president. And look, if you're a lone wolf attacker anywhere in the country these days, especially in cities, it's not hard to camp out in a car, hang out in areas, because I think we've seen that all over the country now with the numbers of homeless people and the number of people living on streets. It's not an unusual thing to see somebody like that who's in an area for a long period of time. I think the key, though, is that if something looks suspicious, that the public and anybody else needs to report it so that law enforcement can actually investigate it and determine who the individual is, what they're doing there, and why they're there.
He's Don Mahalik, ABC News law enforcement contributor and retired senior Secret Service agent. Thank you so much, Don.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
All right, you're welcome. Hey, we've gotten a couple of people asking how they can text to get information to donate to Lance Sidejohn's memorial. It's easy. Text the word Lance to 855-616-1620. Here's your business headlines.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Construction is underway on 267 apartments in Heartland after the developer closed on financing for the project. It's on a former quarry site on West Capitol Drive and will be completed in phases, with the first units available next summer. A Colombian food concept focused on traditional street food-inspired items plans to join Milwaukee's East Side Crossroad Collective Food Hall on September 30th. Capybara Cafe will occupy a vendor stall that was previously home to Noodle Me at the food hall. Milwaukee County is laying the groundwork for a new subdivision in Oak Creek that would have at least 24 new single-family homes designed to be permanently affordable for buyers. It's seeking $2 million in public support to help fund the project. I'm Teddy Nykel with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
For over 130 years, the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee has been delighting guests with impeccable service and luxurious accommodations. Celebrate your next special occasion with a stay at the Pfister. Enjoy fine dining at its acclaimed restaurants and pamper yourself with a service from the Well Spa and Salon. Experience the hotel's afternoon tea program or take in live music with the best views of the city from Blue, the 23rd floor cocktail lounge. Make your reservations today at thepfisterhotel.com.
There are some things that you cannot not know. Do you know God's heart? In creation, you can hear his echo. In your conscience, you can feel his disappointment. But in Jesus, you can hear what he has to say. You can know his promise, his intentions, his heart.
Dr. Michael Ziegler this week on The Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. Boomers, Gen Xers, Millennials, it's time to talk to Annex Wealth Management. You've all got unique challenges. We all do. but they're ready no matter what your situation is. Annex operates as one team. The financial planning team is in-house. Same with their investment, tax, and estate planning teams. Build security with a partner on your side for unbiased advice. Their goal is a plan that prepares you to maintain your desired lifestyle throughout retirement. You'll always have a local team working on your behalf. And it's easy to meet with Annex. They've got branches in Brookfield, Mequon, Lake Country, downtown inside the Pfister, Appleton, Madison, Northern Illinois, Florida. It's easy to meet. And if you want to meet online, that's no problem either. That's where Annex Everywhere comes into play. Visit annexwealth.com. Click the Get Started button. I did that years ago. Schedule your own appointment today. It's Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference with Annex.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Protect mom's assets, protect your assets. Call Krause Estate Planning, estateplanningpeople.com.
Honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice for us.
Mom, there's 2 Air Force men here. She knew what that meant, and she just went down to her knees.
Help us preserve the legacy of local hero Captain Lance Saijon, who died as a POW in Vietnam.
I think the guy is a hero for all ages. I mean, for the whole country.
Join John McCure and the WTMJ Cares campaign to help restore his tribute.